Egypt's private outpatient healthcare market is currently valued between 85 and 110 billion Egyptian pounds, and it is expanding at an annual rate of up to 22%. Two primary factors drive this expansion: a national median age of roughly 24 years old, and a healthcare system where 55 to 62% of total health spending is paid directly out of pocket by the consumer. Yet the supply side of this market operates through highly fragmented, single-specialty solo practices. A patient visits a dedicated clinic for dentistry, a separate practice for dermatology, and another entirely for a functional nasal issue. Operating in isolation forces these individual clinics into an aggressive competitive environment. Every solo practitioner must spend heavily on marketing to acquire a patient for a single procedure, driving up customer acquisition costs across the industry. Treating a patient for only one specific issue places a strict mathematical cap on the average revenue per patient. Once the initial dental or dermatological procedure is complete, the transaction ends, and the clinic must spend capital to acquire the next patient. Because traditional clinics operate strictly within separate medical disciplines, they systematically leak potential patient lifetime value. They solve the immediate presenting problem, but ignore the adjacent clinical needs of the same patient. Finesse corrects this inefficiency by structurally redesigning patient flow. Rather than operating as a standard premium clinic, it organizes its clinical delivery around a proprietary framework called the FACE architecture model. This wireframe separates the head into 4 clinical domains: dental, dermatology, ENT, and ophthalmology. They link into a central referral hub, where one department's output becomes another's input. This multiplies the baseline average revenue per patient by 1.8 to 2.5 times. That multiplier is captured entirely without incurring additional marketing expenses. The initial acquisition cost pays for the first visit, while the subsequent referrals carry a near-zero acquisition cost. By treating the face as a unified architectural structure, Finesse converts an episodic medical transaction into a compounded revenue event, increasing the revenue potential of the standard outpatient encounter. The process begins when a patient enters the system for a standard baseline consultation, such as an evaluation for orthodontic aligners. Instead of moving directly to a dental chair, the mandatory first step is a standardized 3D facial assessment. This imaging covers their dental alignment, skin quality, nasal profile, and periorbital zones, regardless of why they originally booked the appointment. This note map visualizes the next critical step, the FACE architecture case conference. Every weekly patient assessment from the central data node is fed into a multidisciplinary review attended by representatives from all 4 specialist domains. The specialists review the 3D assessment together. They output a single sequenced treatment plan that addresses the structural interventions first, followed by soft tissue enhancements and long-term maintenance, as the data particles push outward. This joint review protocol is engineered to achieve a specific operational metric, generating an internal referral rate of 40 to 55% for first-time patients. From that pool of internally referred patients, the model targets a secondary conversion metric of 25 to 35%, committing to a treatment in the new specialty. In practice, the patient who came in for dental veneers receives a clinical recommendation for periorbital enhancement and skin rejuvenation to match their newly corrected smile. Mandatory clinical integration operates as the necessary mechanical lever to expand patient lifetime value. The cross-sell happens because the medical consensus requires it. Generating clinical recommendations in a conference room does not automatically generate revenue. The findings must be operationalized through a strictly controlled patient journey. This linear, 7-stage flowchart outlines how a customized customer relationship management system drives the patient through the Finesse workflow, from the initial digital discovery to post-treatment retention. The critical transition occurs between the assessment and the treatment planning stages. When the initial assessment scores are logged, the CRM system automatically triggers cross-specialty tasks, assigning follow-ups to the respective departments based on the clinical data. A centralized treatment coordinator receives these triggers. Instead of doctors pitching additional services, the coordinator presents the patient with the fully integrated plan and a single, unified financial proposal. By removing the friction of a patient managing multiple appointments, records, and payments across different solo clinics, the coordinator role is designed to secure a plan acceptance rate above 60%. Stage 7 utilizes these same CRM triggers to establish annual maintenance programs, ranging from dental hygiene to skincare, stabilizing the network's cash flow between major procedures. A high-friction, siloed healthcare market easily loses patients between disciplines. A centralized, CRM-managed patient experience captures and retains them. This operational workflow directly dictates the financial product sold to the consumer. Instead of piecemeal procedures, patients purchase comprehensive facial transformations. This stacked bar chart breaks down the economics of an integrated package called Profile Perfect. It anchors the sale with a high-ticket structural item, a rhinoplasty, and pads the overall margin by stacking soft tissue dermatology treatments like chin fillers and a skin program on top. These high-ticket packages scale across a wide spectrum of pricing tiers, from £30,000 for event preparation up to £500,000 or more for the face architecture complete transformation. At network maturity, the targeted revenue mix distributes across all 4 domains: 30 to 35% dental, 30 to 35% dermatology, 15 to 20% ENT, and 10 to 15% ophthalmology. To maintain conversion rates at these price points, the financial proposal directly integrates installment platforms and buy now, pay later options into the presentation. Integrating these platforms makes treatment accessible to the aspirational upper-middle-class demographic. By removing the requirement for upfront liquid capital, this segment is projected to account for up to 30% of total network revenue. Packaging treatments across multiple specialties shifts the consumer mindset. They stop price shopping individual procedures and begin investing in a financed, holistic outcome. Deploying this model requires a phased 36-month geographic expansion sequence. The strategy balances heavy initial capital expenditure with rapid revenue diversification. Looking at this map of Egypt, Phase 1 establishes the Cairo flagship. This requires £60 to £90 million in capital expenditure to build brand equity, centralize the dental lab, and anchor the core physician pool. Phase 2 moves to Alamein. This is a lower capex seasonal satellite designed to capture high-net-worth summer residents with high-margin aesthetic dermatology. Phase 3 enters Hurghada, establishing a presence in the USD-denominated medical tourism market, targeting European and Russian value seekers. Phase 4 caps the initial rollout in Alexandria, securing Egypt's second-largest year-round affluent market. The capital strategy relies on the Cairo flagship achieving a targeted 18 to 24-month payback period, utilizing that localized cash flow to partially fund the subsequent satellite phases. By spacing the rollout across 4 distinct geographies, the strategy mitigates portfolio risk, diversifying revenue across year-round urban populations, seasonal domestic travelers, and international tourists. By the end of year 3, the network reaches operational maturity, assuming all 4 locations are fully active and doctor utilization rates have stabilized between 80 and 90%. To prevent the primary operational risk, physician attrition, the network employs a performance-based revenue share model. This aligns physician earnings directly with clinic volume, locking top-tier talent into the multidisciplinary system. This financial table projects the consolidated target at maturity. By year 3, the network aims for £280 to £350 million in annual revenue. Alongside that revenue, the model targets a blended network EBITDA margin of 28 to 35%. These margins support the brand's premium positioning, allowing Finesse to maintain a 30 to 50% price premium over standard, standalone competitors. Achieving this financial output depends entirely on executing the 45% internal referral rate. The economics rely on moving a single patient through multiple disciplines, not merely inflating the price of a single procedure. By restructuring clinical delivery around the unified architecture of the face, Finesse takes a traditionally fragmented medical service and organizes it into a highly optimized, high-yield investment asset.